here's the thing, right? I think it's important to talk about this because this got, I mean, it's been trending all day. TikTok's been trending all day. You've got, if you go on TikTok right now, you see all of the creators over there losing their mind. And part of the issue here with creators as a whole is that far too many content creators put all their eggs in one basket. They might start on all these different platforms, but inherently there'll be one platform that tends to work better for them, and then they just go all in on that platform, forgoing everything else and not working to bring them up along, you know, on par with that one that they're focusing on, and they forget about those. And so now they're in the situation where, in this case, TikTok is about to get booted. After this hearing, there's every inclination that they are going to limit, ban it. Something's about to happen here. I think it's just a matter of time. But as you watch this, I mean, they all, Republicans and Democrats, all railing on TikTok. Now let's play into this, and I'll kind of expand on some of my thoughts here. A lot of what TikTok creators on the app right now are crying about is like, oh, this is just because it's all about money. Facebook and all these other apps are lobbying and yada, yada. Sure, they probably are. It's competitive, right? They're trying to compete to shut that shit down so that they can come up off of it. Sure. But if that was the sole reason for anything happening right now, there's no way that there would be bipartisan push for this. It is not simply a matter of Facebook, YouTube, and all these other apps lobbying Congress to, you know, ban this app. It's not just about that at all. It probably plays a part, but the fundamental concern is that, and if you don't know the structure here, let me see if I can do this. Do I have like a paint app here? I do. Let's go to drawing school, y'all. This should be interesting. So let's do it like this. All right. Here's TikTok. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. Here's TikTok. Why is this so small? All right. TikTok. All right, my shitty box. Jesus Christ, I can't. Okay, you get the idea. How do I move it? All right, well, it's right there. It's shitty, but you get the point. There's TikTok. Now, TikTok is owned by ByteDance. All right. Let's get this. There's ByteDance. And we'll do this. Bam. All right. TikTok, ByteDance. ByteDance, though, is a Chinese company. Okay. Nothing inherently wrong with a Chinese company. Plenty of Chinese companies do business internationally with the US, right? No problem right there. But what the problem is when we get to the next layer. All right, let's take the next layer up. Even bigger, even better. This right here is the CCP. All right, that's the Chinese Communist Party that rules over the Chinese people in the country. It's a communist government. And the issue here is that in Chinese law and in their laws and how they work, because it's a communist government, they can, and there are laws that force Chinese companies to be able to allow the government to tap into what they got going on at their discretion. Like they have to have backdoors for the government to access, depending on what the industry is, what they got going on. If they need to get in there to do whatever they need to do, there's that whole thing. So the issue now is TikTok, right? TikTok, let's do this. TikTok has all of this. This is all our info right there. TikTok is collecting all this shit. Like, it's crazy how much shit they're collecting. So we'll just do this. You guys following along? You guys with me on this one? Hopefully you guys can see everything. TikTok is collecting a crazy amount of information off of your phone, what your keystrokes are, all these things. And I believe from what I saw, in a large part, is more than a lot of the other social media apps like Facebook, whatever else. Don't get me wrong. All of these apps collect information on all of us in various ways. They all do. If this was solely about information and how much they're gathering, again, TikTok wouldn't be in this situation. A lot of the argument people have with this whole situation is, well, I mean, it's not like Facebook. Facebook's doing the same thing. YouTube does the same thing. So who cares if TikTok's doing it? The fundamental difference here is that, and this might sound silly, but those are U.S. companies collecting information on U.S. citizens, with that information being stored on U.S. servers in the U.S. All fundamentally oversight by law, like they have to fall within the law. And if they're not doing things lawfully, they can be held accountable in our country. And many of these companies have already had lawsuits and settlements done. Facebook had a settlement for biometric data. Snapchat got biometric data lawsuits, class action lawsuits. So there's a penalty, right? There's at the least, if they play foul, the government can step in, regulate, not tax them, but fine them. There could be lawsuits brought up. There's checks and balances for these companies. The issue here is TikTok is still a subsidiary of ByteDance, which is the Chinese company. However, they set it up in a way because initially, remember when Trump wanted to get them banned, they had to set themselves up to be standalone so that there's no direct connect to the Chinese company back in China. So they branched off and created TikTok US. They're headquartered in LA, and they got 7,000 employees here in the US, and they were storing information in Virginia and Singapore. However, they're working on Project Texas, which is they're taking all that information that they have and they're relocating it into Oracle. That was part of this deal that Oracle's a big cloud company, security and all that stuff. So now Oracle, that's based in Texas, is going to store all this information. So they're currently in the process of transferring all this. You guys follow me so far? Good. That hasn't happened all the way yet, which is part of what the conversation is going to be brought up here as we play into this. All right. The concern fundamentally, and this is why this is all happening, why both sides of the political spectrum here are all in favor of banning and why they're pressing TikTok, is because of this connection here. From ByteDance to the CCP, there's no arguing the fact that TikTok has the best algorithm of any application in existence today. It's something that TikTok or that Instagram and Facebook and all these other apps are trying to emulate, because TikTok's algorithm is incredible. I will give it credit. The fact that it can serve you videos that actually you are interested in. If I scroll through my For You page 10 times, 9 out of 10 of those videos I watch, I actually am interested in. That's pretty high. That's like really impressive that they feed you that much stuff that you're engaged in it, right? It's also scary because now when you have a situation where the CCP can essentially, let's see if this works. They can essentially come in on the back door. Oh shit, that didn't work. Okay. Can I delete that? Okay, yeah, I can. So essentially, they can come over here, right? They're going to backdoor in to TikTok to get information on U.S. citizens. Not only that, even scarier is when it comes to what they can do to impact that algorithm or use the algorithm to feed their nefarious plans, specifically when it comes to propaganda, specifically when it comes to swaying people's opinions on a topic, in particular when it comes to election time and the use of misinformation, the ability to boost or interject things in there that will upset, enrage, the public, which then causes a rift in our society. That is fundamentally what the biggest issue is. And the biggest issue that so many of these TikTok believers seem to not address. This is the fundamental problem, is that they can backdoor into it. There's been numerous reports on many Washington Post and all these different credible newspaper outlets that have discovered that employees at ByteDance, engineers, were accessing the TikTok US information. It's not hard to believe that someone that works at ByteDance as an engineer on their nameplate, right, they're hired as an engineer, isn't secretly an agent of the state of the Communist Party. Guys, I worked in the Foreign Service, in the State Department. I worked with CIA, DEA, FBI at US embassies around the world. I know what we are capable in the US and how we go about our things. And even back in as early as the early 2000s, China was already a problem and was going to continue to be a problem in terms of what they were doing in the digital warfare space. This is why, and I know this from experience, this is why this is such a big deal. And this is why it is problematic. You know, this is why this is so problematic in this whole situation here. Now, there have been talks about ByteDance divesting TikTok and selling it off, right? And now if they sell it off, the US is like, cool, we'll let that ride. It'll be a US company, someone here, it'll be based here, then it means it's applicable to, or it has to adhere to US laws and yada, yada, yada. And now it's playing in the same wheelhouse as all the other social media companies. However, ByteDance, and they've talked about it in here, doesn't want to sell. In fact, the Communist Party almost won't even let them, is refusing, it doesn't want them, or won't even let them, I should say, sell it off, because they know the importance of TikTok and what they can do to use it to sway the public sentiment here in the US, because they can do this backdoor stuff. That's the big threat. That's the concern with this application. And this is why I think it should get banned. You know what I mean? A lot of creators are gonna be tight about that, but it's actually very dangerous. Actually, DJ said his part is 85% of TikTok users don't even know this or don't care. That is 100%. They are so sucked into the platform. You have to understand, I get it. So many of them, it's their livelihood. They grew this big audience, but they fucked up by not growing their other social media platforms. There's so many million follower TikTok accounts that have shit followings on YouTube. It blows my mind because TikTok pays shit. Out of all the social media platforms, it pays shit for creators. You can have millions of followers on that app. The only way those big creators are making any bread is from sponsorships. If they're not getting sponsorships and they're just getting the views and all that stuff, they're not making shit on that app. It's ridiculous what the economy, the TikTok economy for creators looks like. The creator fund is a joke. Instagram pays better. You know what I mean? But YouTube for a creator, that's why I push my YouTube, and that's why I say, guys, come always sub up on the YouTube channel. I'm live Monday through Friday on my YouTube channel because it helps me the most, because there's ad rev. YouTube is the OG creator system. It has ad rev built in already. There's multiple ways for people to support and for a creator to monetize their content. It's a legacy social media platform. It's stable. You know how to work it. These people should have been growing their YouTube channel in conjunction with their TikTok. They should have been growing their Facebook and their Instagram. And a lot of them get into this world where, well, I'm team TikTok, so I can't fuck with Instagram. That's the dumbest way to think about it. If you're a creator watching this, that is absolutely stupid. You don't own the companies. You don't have stock options in the company. You don't have equity in these companies. Stop being loyal and treat these companies like some hoes. I'm gonna be honest. Treat them like some hoes. Run up in it, run up your numbers, and get your bread. And then when you don't want them, kick them to the curb. That's how I treat these social media apps. Cause being this blindness and just being team whatever app you ride on is dumb. is so dumb. I see with live streamers that all ride with Twitch. Yeah, Team Twitch. They take half your money, bro. They take half of your pay. And no one in this world, imagine if you go to work, you bust your ass for the whole week, and perfect example, you work as a waiter in the food service industry. You serve tables or whatever. You had a banger week. You got your regulars that come in. They love what you do as a server. You're attentive. You're dope. You're cool. They give you good tips because they want to support you, right? And they really appreciate what you do. You imagine end of the week. Let's say you made $1,000. Then imagine you're clocking out for that Sunday and your boss is like, all right, good job this week. By the way, give me half your money. Imagine, ain't nobody in here would ever let that shit ride. Ain't nobody gonna ever let no one take half of their fucking bread that they bust their ass for. But that's what's happening on Twitch. And there's people that are so dumb that they still ride with that platform. You don't own it. You don't own equity in it. They don't owe you shit. And you're letting them essentially take half your income. It's ridiculous. Again, my point here is for creators, stop being dumb. Stop being dumb. Grow your stuff across all these platforms. Use it to your best of your ability. And I veered off a little bit, but the point, bringing it back, is what we're talking about here, is that creators on TikTok are losing their shit, and they're only looking at this whole situation like as a threat to their content creation. Maybe this is a livelihood. And I understand that. I'm sympathetic to that. At the same time, they should have been, again, divesting into other areas. You cannot play this social media content creation space with only one thing. You have to spread it out for this exact reason. At any given time, you can get banned. Anytime they can be shut down. There could be new regulations put in place that impact stuff. Fuck, even IG, right? I'm kind of getting cucked over there because I was getting paid from Instagram for my reel bonuses. And it was good money. Like, it helped a lot. Guess what? They ended that shit. So now me putting up, I'm still going to put up reels and the reacts and all that stuff, but I'm not gonna be able to monetize that. What does that mean? Well, it means, for those that really fuck with me, they want to support, they can buy gifts on those videos. I know Instagram has gifts. They can get badges on the live streams. They can subscribe to the IG, but it's a good little chunk of change from Instagram that's gone now. But that's, again, because I spread stuff out, it's like, it sucks, but like, I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean? TikTokers were all in on that platform. Now they're losing their shit. And all they see is that the government doesn't like TikTok, and they're oblivious to the fact of exactly what I showed you here, which is this whole graphic of how this all plays in, and the issue with the communist government tapping in and using this app and the algorithm for very nefarious purposes, especially when it comes to hot topics here in the US, like race, and election periods of time. They can sway the vote. They can sway people's impressions of a candidate, and that's not good. We do not want foreign governments interfering with our elections. We don't. That is just extremely dangerous. So that's where we're at with things. Let's go ahead and hit play and take a look at some of the stuff. What up, BK?
The myth. We aren't buying it.
By the way, I actually like the CEO, Mr. Shou here. I think he presented himself well. He seems likable. However, he could be a shill for the CCP. You never know. I'm telling you, it's incredible when you find out who actually works for like these government agencies and the fronts that they have for their cover. Ask me how I know, because I know.
In fact, when you celebrate the 150 million American users on TikTok,
No, I was not in the CIA. I was in the Marine Corps, but I worked in the Foreign Service. And at every U.S. embassy, there are CIA, NSA. Some embassies will have FBI attaché. You usually have DEA attachés. You have DIA, well, not DIA, but you have military liaisons. All of these within the U.S. embassy. And they're all out here. They're the ones that are on the ground collecting intelligence covertly and overtly. It's really interesting. I should write a book and make a movie about it from the shit.
Emphasizes the urgency for Congress to act.
Appreciate that,
That
P.
is 150 million
Same to you, bro.
Americans that CCP can collect sensitive information on and control what we ultimately
Can you guys hear? Is it good volume?
hear, and believe. TikTok has repeatedly been caught in the lie that it does not answer to the CCP through ByteDance. Today, the CCP's laws require Chinese companies like ByteDance to spy on their behalf. That means any Chinese company must grant the CCP access and manipulation capabilities as a design feature. Right now, ByteDance is under investigation by the DOJ for surveilling American journalists, both digital activity and physical movements through TikTok. We also know that many of your employees still report directly to Beijing. Internal recordings reveal there is a backdoor for China to access user data across the platform. Your employees said, quote, everything is seen in China. A gateway to spy is not the only way TikTok and ByteDance can do the bidding of the CCP. TikTok has helped erase events and people China wants the world to forget. It's even censored an American teenager who exposed CCP's genocide and torture of Uyghur Muslims. The facts show that ByteDance is beholden to the CCP, and ByteDance and TikTok are one and the same. TikTok also targets our children. The For You algorithm is a tool for TikTok to own their attention and prey on their innocence. Within minutes of creating an account, your algorithm can promote suicide, self-harm, and eating disorders to children. It encourages challenges for them to put their lives in danger and allows adults to prey on our beautiful, beloved daughters. It's also a portal for drug dealers to sell illicit fentanyl that China has banned, yet is helping Mexican cartels produce.
You just signed about
Send
TikTok?
across our border and poison our children. In China, the CCP proactively prohibits this type of TikTok content that promotes death and despair to kids. From the data it collects to the content it controls, TikTok is a grave threat of foreign influence in American life. It's been said it's like allowing the Soviet Union the power to produce Saturday morning cartoons during the Cold War, but much more powerful and much more dangerous. Banning your platform will address the immediate threats. Make no mistake, this committee is also looking to the future. America needs to be prepared to stop the next technological tool or weapon China will use for its own strategic gain. We must prevent any app, website, and platform like TikTok from ever spying on Americans again. And we must provide the strongest protections possible for our children. That is why this committee is leading on a national privacy and data security standard. It restricts sensitive American data from reaching our adversaries to begin with, and what big tech and data brokers collect, process, store, and sell. It makes it illegal for any platform to track and target children under 17. Mr. Shou, the committee has requested that TikTok appear before us for a long time. For those we serve, we're glad the day has finally come. Today, the world is watching. ByteDance is watching. The Chinese Communist Party is watching. But the answers you owe are to the American people, a free people who cherish their God-given, unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. They deserve the truth. Complete honesty is the standard and the law you are being held to before this committee, as we seek to get answers and a full understanding of what happens at TikTok under your watch. Thank you.
So that's just their opening statements. I mean, right out the gate, she's coming out and just laying it down like, I mean, you know that our U.S. intelligence services have been pulling this information. I mean, they're just not speaking the shit out of their ass about the connections and the concern and all that. It's very valid.
Recognizes the ranking member, Mr. Pallone, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And let me say that I agree with much of what you just said. and I certainly appreciate your enthusiasm and your commenting on being a mother and concerned about children. And I am glad that we are having this hearing today. Big tech has transformed the information superhighway into a super spreader of harmful content, invasive surveillance practices, and addictive and damaging design features. Data is big tech's most valuable commodity, and by collecting far more user data than they need, big tech platforms can use, share, and sell information to generate billions of dollars in revenue. Today, the American people are powerless to stop this invasion of their privacy, and we can't wait any longer to pass comprehensive national privacy legislation that puts people back in control of their data. We must hold big tech accountable for its actions, and transparency is critical to that accountability. In the past several Congresses, this committee has heard from senior executives of other social media platforms about troubling and repeated instances where they put profits over people. Now, today we intend to bring more transparency to TikTok, which is controlled by its Beijing communist-based parent company, ByteDance. And while TikTok videos provide a new fun way for people to express their creativity and enjoy the videos of others, the platform also threatens the health, privacy, and security of the American people. And I'm not convinced that the benefits outweigh the risks that it poses to Americans in its present form. More than 130 million people in the United States use TikTok every month, including 2/3 of American teenagers. TikTok collects and compiles vast troves of valuable personal information to create an addictive algorithm that is able to predict with uncanny accuracy which videos will keep users scrolling, even if the content is harmful, inaccurate, or feeds destructive behavior or extremist beliefs. Now, the combination of TikTok's Beijing communist-based China ownership and its popularity exacerbates its danger to our country and to our privacy. The Chinese Communist government can compel companies based
Hey, we ready to
Beijing,
get you on for this
like
e-date.
TikTok,
We ready now.
to share data with the Communist government through existing Beijing law or coercion.
Morocco, what up, bro?
National security experts are sounding the alarm, warning that the Chinese Communist government could require TikTok to compromise device security, maliciously access American user data, promote pro-communist propaganda, and undermine American interests. Disinformation campaigns could be launched by the Chinese Communist government through TikTok, which has already become rife with misinformation and disinformation, illegal activities, and hate speech. A recent report found that 20% of TikTok search results on prominent news topics contain misinformation. Social media's profitability depends on growth and engagement. More eyes on their content for longer time leads to more advertising dollars and revenue generation. Addictive algorithms are fine-tuned to optimize growth and engagement without necessarily taking into account potential harms to users. Children and teens are particularly vulnerable. Frequent online use of interactive media on digital devices is associated with increased levels of depression among middle and high school students. Research has found that TikTok's addictive algorithms recommend videos to teens that create and exacerbate feelings of emotional distress, including videos promoting suicide, self-harm, and eating disorders. Public outrage and hollow apologies alone are not going to rein in big tech. Congress has to enact laws protecting the American public from such online harms. And we simply cannot wait any longer to pass the comprehensive privacy legislation that I authored with then-ranking member, now Chair Rogers, last Congress, that overwhelmingly advanced out of the committee. It ensures that companies, wherever they live, it ensures, I should say, that consumers, wherever they live in this country, will have meaningful control over their personal information. Our legislation establishes baseline data minimization requirements, ensuring that companies only collect, process, and transfer data necessary to provide a service. And it provides heightened privacy protections for children and teenagers. So I think it's time to make this legislation the law of the land. And we also have to examine the reforms needed to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. The liability shield for social media platforms has for too long been abused and led to a lack of accountability for social media platforms. So I hope we can find a bipartisan path forward on that issue too, and I think you're having a hearing next week on it, so we can stop the very real harms to our country and democracy under the current law. I'd look forward to the discussion today as we continue to bring accountability to big tech. And let me say to Mr. Shou, I know this is about TikTok, but I am focusing all my attention not only on TikTok, but on these concerns wide concerns about social media and the protection of privacy. And with that, I yield back. Thank you again, Madam Chair, for having this very important hearing.
I don't think you guys understand what you just witnessed with the opening statements, how important these two opening statements are. If you're not familiar with how this works, when you open up with the congressional hearing, you're gonna have whoever the head of the whatever, what do you call it? Oh God, it's getting late because my brain is a little fried. Whoever is the lead of that chamber is, right? So in this case, it's the economic, what is it? The whatever one it is. So you got whoever the head of it is. So I believe she's a Republican, and then the next speaker is going to always be the senior minority leader within that group, right? Rarely do you ever hear them both open up with their opening statements and they're in alignment. That already sets the tone for this whole entire interview, a hearing with the CEO from TikTok, that lets you know he's up shit's creek. And I can't imagine what it's like to sit there and you're about to get grilled and have no friends. Literally, Democrats and Republicans both are on the same sheet of music, and it's so rare to actually see this. Absolutely. Every other instance we see, they're always on the opposite sides. There's always bickering and arguing, yada, yada, yada. Like, we know what it is. But TikTok has managed to unify our Congress. Isn't that fucking amazing?
Our witness today is Mr. Shou, Chief Executive Officer of TikTok. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Chair Rogers, Ranking Member Pallone, members of the committee, thank you for your time. I am Shou, and I'm from Singapore. That's where I was born. That's where my parents.
Why is this guy? Wait. Why is this guy? Hold on.
Living in Singapore's military.
This guy that's right between them with the glasses. You guys see this guy right here? Why does it look like he's looking right at my face? This is very awkward. He's looking dead into the camera, which means he's looking dead in my face as the CEO is talking. This is already awkward.
I moved
What are you
to
looking
the
at,
UK
bro?
to attend college, and then here to the US to attend business school. I actually met my wife here. By the way, she was just born a few miles away from here in Virginia. 2 years ago, I became the CEO of TikTok. Today, we have more than 1 billion monthly active users around the world, including over 150 million in the United States. Our app is a place where people can be creative and curious, and where close to 5 million American businesses, mostly small businesses, go to find new customers and to fuel their growth. Now, as TikTok has grown, we've tried to learn the lessons of companies that have come before us, especially when it comes to the safety of teenagers. While the vast majority of people on TikTok are over 18, one of our fastest growing demographics are people over 35. We spent a lot of time adopting measures to protect teenagers. Many of those measures are firsts for the social media industry.
The problem I have with this app, though, is that even though he's saying their fastest growing users are now 35 plus, is to be on that app, they still treat it as if everyone is a minor, and you get community guidelines striked fucking for every little thing. And they're so overzealous with it because they got the government on their back. So they're hypersensitive to every little, dude, you know how many videos I've had from them that got took down? And you guys know the reels I make. They're not offensive. And I mean, like, they're funny. Some might be edgy, but there's nothing like inherently wrong. They took down one of my videos trying to say that it had hate speech and slurs in it. I appealed that and they denied it, and you can't talk to anybody. I'm like, yo, I knew from that moment that this app was dog shit. Their moderation is horrendous. Of every social media app, and I'm on all the main big ones, TikTok by far has the most egregious moderation system. They have an AI that does like a surface scan for everything. And if the AI doesn't understand context, it doesn't understand different cultures, because we all know different, depending on where you come from and the culture that you're part of, everybody talks differently and has different lingo. So one subset of people saying a word means something very different from another subset of people that say the same word. It doesn't account for all of those nuances. And so everybody gets clipped And a lot of times, a lot of people of color creators have it even harder because, you know, how we speak in the streets and how people speak is very different than, say, proper speak. So then the words they're using get flagged and they get caught. You know what I mean? It's so bad, and that was a big reason why I really don't like this app. One of many.
We forbid direct messaging for people under 16, and we have a 60-minute watch time by default for those under 18. We have a suite of family pairing tools so that parents can participate in their teens' experience and make the choices that are right for their family. We want TikTok to be a place where teenagers can come.
He's not buying it. Look at
which
his
is why
face.
we
He's over here like,
recently
I
launched
heard this
It
bullshit.
exclusively features educational videos about
The
STEM.
ranking members like, yeah, right.
STEM videos already have over 116 billion views on TikTok. And I think TikTok is inspiring a new generation to discover a passion for math and science. Now, I would also like to talk about
That is such bullshit. There's TikTok itself is not allowed in China. China's version of TikTok is called Duan, something like that. They'll say it in here in a moment. On their version of the app, they feed kids educational, uplifting, positive content, bro. I mean, how to do STEM, how to do this. It's all very enlightening, positive. Think of PBS Sunday morning content for kids all day, every day, and it's just family friendly and all that stuff. Meanwhile, on TikTok for us, our kids can be exposed to all types of ratchet shit, stuff that they shouldn't be seeing. You could talk about parental controls and all that stuff, but kids can always circumvent that. Yes, parents should be aware of what's going on 100%. There has to be that responsibility, but it doesn't take away the fact that I can do all the steps to take care of, make sure my kid is not doing crazy stuff on it, but then they don't go hang out with a friend, and then their friend doesn't have the same parental controls, and now they're watching these crazy ass TikToks, you know, twerking and all this shit that, like, I don't want my daughter to be seeing that shit. You know what I mean? So it's not even the same. And China even knows it. Like, we ain't gonna do that over here. They're feeding their people very different shit.
about national security concerns that you have raised,
shooting,
that
twerking,
we take
murders.
very,
Like, it's
very seriously.
It's not good. All that stuff is not good to be seen. Not even just for kids, for all of us. You know, you go on social media now, Twitter's new algorithm for their For You page. I see fights every 2 tweets I scroll through is a fight or a shooting. I'm like, this ain't healthy, bro.
Let me start by addressing a few misconceptions about ByteDance, of which we are a subsidiary. ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government. It's a private company. 60% of the company is owned by global institutional investors. 20% is owned by the founder, and 20% owned by employees around the world. ByteDance has 5 board members. 3 of them are American. Now, TikTok itself is not available in mainland China. We're headquartered in Los Angeles and in Singapore, and we have 7,000 employees in the US today. Still, we have heard important concerns about the potential for unwanted foreign access to US data and potential manipulation of the TikTok US ecosystem. Our approach has never been to dismiss or trivialize any of these concerns. We have addressed them with real action. Now, that's what we've been doing for the last 2 years, building what amounts to a firewall that seals off protected US user data from unauthorized foreign access. The bottom line is this: American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel. We call this initiative Project Texas. That's where Oracle is headquartered. Today, US TikTok data is stored by default in Oracle servers.
Twitter's always had porn,
vetted
though.
Personnel
It's always had
operating
porn,
in a
bro.
new company called TikTok US Data Security can control access to this data. Now, additionally, we have plans for this company
Super
to
tough.
report to an independent American board with strong security credentials. Now, there's still some work to do. We have legacy US data sitting in our servers in Virginia and in Singapore. We're deleting those, and we expect that to be complete this year. When that is done, all protected US data will be under the protection of US law and under the control of the US-led security team. This eliminates the concern that some of you have shared with me that TikTok user data can be subject to Chinese law. This goes further, by the way, than what any other company in our industry have done. We will also provide unprecedented transparency and security for the source code for the TikTok app and recommendation engine. Third-party validators like Oracle and others will review and validate our source code and algorithms. This will help ensure the integrity of the code that powers what Americans see on our app. We will further provide access to researchers, which helps them study and monitor our content ecosystem. Now, we believe we are the only company that offers this level of transparency. Now, trust is about actions we take. We have to earn that trust with decisions we make for our company and our products. The potential security, privacy, content manipulation concerns raised about TikTok are really not unique to us. The same issues apply to other companies. We believe what's needed are clear, transparent rules that apply broadly to all tech companies. Ownership is not at the core of addressing these concerns. Now, as I conclude, there are more than 150 million Americans who love our platform, and we know we have a responsibility to protect them, which is why I'm making the following commitments to you and to all our users. Number one, we will keep safety, particularly for teenagers, as a top priority for us. Number two, we will firewall protected US data from unwanted foreign access. Number three, TikTok will remain a place for free expression and will not be manipulated by any government.
Okay.
And fourth, we will be transparent and we will give access to third-party independent monitors to remain accountable for our commitments. I'll be grateful for any feedback that you have, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
So that's where we're at right now.
As you know, the testimony.
Good, you know, an expected response opening from the CEO of TikTok about trying to make it clear that there's no ties and we're gonna layer it all in America and but that's simply just not. It's just not how that works, man. Not how it works.
Testimony that you're about to give is subject to Title 18, Section 1001 of the United States Code. As you state in your testimony, ByteDance is TikTok's parent company. Is it accurate to say that you are in regular communication with the CEO of ByteDance, Leon Robo?
Chair Rogers, yes, I am in communication with him.
Okay. Kelly Zhang is the CEO of ByteDance China, overseeing Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok.
Douyin, there you go. Douyin's the name of it.
Are you in regular communication
Let's go,
with Kelly?
Exotics.
I'm not in regular communication with her.
What's up, Pine?
The ByteDance editor in
TikTokers
chief
while
is
they're making a
Zhang.
video. Yo, I hate those TikTokers that make their shits in public, doing all this extra. I really do. We want to walk in and smack their shit out their hand.
Wu Ping, correct?
I believe so.
And Wu Shugang is Beijing ByteDance technology board member and also an official of the Cyberspace Administration in China. Is this correct?
I believe so. They are not in the right.
Thank you. All of these individuals work or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party, are at the highest levels of leadership at ByteDance, a company where you previously served as the chief financial officer and where you regularly communicate with their CEO.
See, you see where they're going at with this? They said he used to work at ByteDance as the CFO. You start, you know, he very well could be a double agent or a secret agent of the Communist Party. You know, it's not like he may be directly. See, what happens is when he could be an asset is essentially what it could be. He could be an asset for the CCP intelligence service or whatever. And, you know, so he's reporting to them, very privy information. He's at the highest level. That's the whole thing. He could be sharing stuff with them. You know what I mean? That's so much going on.
TikTok has told us that you weren't sharing data with the CCP, but leaked audio from within TikTok has proven otherwise. TikTok told us that you weren't tracking the geolocation of American citizens. You were. TikTok told us you weren't spying on journalists. You were. In your testimony, you state that ByteDance is not beholden to the CCP. Again, each of the individuals I listed are affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party, including Zhang Fuping, who is reported to be the Communist Party's secretary of ByteDance, and who has called for the party committee to, quote, take the lead across all party lines to ensure the algorithm is enforced by, quote, correct political direction. Just this morning, the Wall Street Journal reported that the CCP is opposed to a forced sale of TikTok by ByteDance, quoting a CCP spokesman as saying the Chinese government would make a decision regarding any sale of TikTok. So the CCP believes they have the final say over your company. I have zero confidence in your assertion that ByteDance and TikTok are not beholden to the CCP. Next question. Heating content is a way of promoting and moderating content. In your current or previous positions within Chinese companies, have employees engaged in heating content for users outside of China? Very quickly, yes or no?
Our heating process is approved by our local teams in the various countries.
The answer is yes, thank you. Have any moderation tools been used to remove content on TikTok associated with the Uyghur genocide? Yes or no?
We do not remove that kind of content. TikTok is a place of freedom of expression. And
Yeah,
Chair Rogers,
right.
like I said, if you use
No,
our
you
app,
get clapped on
go
that.
on it and you
Yo,
will
look
see
at my
a
man
lot-
right here nodding his head. He's like, nah, bro. You post stuff up there, you will get your shit clapped down so quick. Full of shit.
A lot of users around the world
Thank you.
expressing
Thank
content
you.
on that topic and many others.
Thank
Nah.
you. What about the massacre in Tiananmen Square? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The massacre in Tiananmen Square.
That kind of content is available on our platform. You can go and search it.
I will remind you that making false or misleading statements to Congress is a federal crime.
I understand. Again, if
Okay,
you go on our
thank
platform, you
Next
will find that
question.
content.
Okay, thank you. Reclaiming my time, can you say with 100% certainty that ByteDance or the CCP cannot use your company or its divisions to heat content to promote pro-CCP messages for an act of aggression against Taiwan?
We do not promote or remove content at the request
guess
of
the
the
question-
Chinese government.
the question
And
is,
we will
are you-
replace.
The question is, are you 100% certain that they cannot use your company to promote such messages?
It is our commitment to this committee and all our users that we will keep this free from any manipulation by any
Okay,
government.
If you can't say 100% certain, I take that as a no. As I previously referenced, TikTok spied on American journalists. Can you say with 100% certainty that neither ByteDance nor TikTok employees can target other Americans with similar surveillance techniques?
Chair Rogers, I first of all disagree with the characterization that is spying. It was an internal
Surveillance?
investigation.
Yes or no? Can you do surveillance of other Americans?
We will protect the U.S. user data and fire it all from all unwanted foreign access. It's a commitment that we've given to the committee.
So I guess my question is, I wanted to hear you say with 100% certainty that neither ByteDance nor TikTok employees can target other Americans with similar surveillance techniques as you did with the journalists.
Again, I don't disagree with the characterization is surveillance, and we have given our commitments, Chair Rogers. The 4 commitments, I think it's our commitment that we will not be influenced by any government on these issues.
DOJ is investigating this surveillance right now. To the American people watching today, hear this: TikTok is a weapon by the Chinese Communist Party to spy on you, manipulate what you see, and exploit for future generations. A ban is only a short-term way to address TikTok, and a data privacy bill is the only way to stop TikTok from ever happening again in the United States. I yield back. I now yield to the ranking member for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me just start out by saying, Mr. Chu, that
She came
I
out the
don't
gate
find,
swinging.
what you
Swinging.
suggested with Project Texas and this firewall that's being suggested to whoever will be acceptable to me. In other words, you know, I still believe that the Beijing Communist government will still control and have the ability to influence what you do. And so this idea, this Project Texas, is simply not acceptable. According to a recent report, TikTok is on target to make between $15 and $18 billion in revenue this year. Is that an accurate
Damn,
forecast?
15 to 18 billion in revenue. Now TikTok is we don't know the information because it's privately held. It's not publicly traded, so they don't have to give their financials up. But goddamn, 15 billion, and as a creator, you get shit on that app. Where the fuck is the money going to? Oh, that's right, China.
Congressman, as a private company, we are not sharing our
There you
I
go.
thought
numbers
that's what you would
publicly.
say. How much money will TikTok make by delivering personalized advertisements just to your users in the United States? Will you give me that information?
Again, Congressman, respectfully, as a
I
private
thought
company,
that's
we're
what
not
you would
disclosing
say.
that.
Look, the impression you're giving, and I know, I can understand why you're trying to give that impression, is that that you're just performing some kind of public service.
Yo, you
here,
saw her
right?
face?
I
It's like,
mean, just as a benign company that's just performing a public service. Maybe that's not what you're saying, but I don't buy it.
yo, she's
right?
making some amazing
My
faces.
concern is
Hey, y'all, I don't care. Yo, like, she's got some great memeable faces she's been showing the whole time these questions going off. You might need to go pull it off and use them.
here is primarily about the privacy issue, the fact that TikTok is making all kinds of money by gathering private information about Americans that they don't need for their business purposes, and then they sell it. And I mentioned this legislation that the chair and I have that would minimize data collection and make it much more difficult for TikTok and other companies to do that. So if you want to make some commitments today, I'll ask you to make some commitments with regard to this legislation. And, you're going to tell me, well, the bill isn't passed, and so therefore I don't have to do it. But, you say you're benign, you want to do good things for the public.
Yeah,
So
the
let
app
me
is
ask
trash,
you,
Toggle.
why not, what about a commitment that says that you won't sell the data that you collect? Would you commit to that, not selling the data you collect?
Congressman, I believe we don't sell data to any data brokers.
You don't sell to anyone.
We don't sell data to data brokers.
I didn't ask you data brokers. You sell it to anyone. In other words, under our bill, you could only use the data for your own purposes, not to sell it to anyone. Would you commit to not selling your data to anyone?
Congressman, I actually am in support of some rules.
I
around
didn't ask
privacy.
you whether the rules. I asked you whether the company, TikTok, would commit to not selling its data to anyone and just using it for its own purposes internally.
I can get back to you on the details
Okay,
of that.
get back to me. All right. Another thing that's in our bill.
Why do you need to he's the CEO. What do you have to get back on? You know what I mean? Oh, that's right. You got to go back to ByteDance to get for daddy to give you permission to say something.
Says that we would prohibit targeting marketing to people under the age of 17. Would you be willing to agree to prohibit targeted marketing to people, Americans under the age of 17?
Congressman, we have actually stricter rules for advertisers in terms of what they can show to our
So
users
do
under
you
the age of
prohibit
18.
would you be willing to prohibit targeted marketing to those under 17? That's what's in our bill.
I understand that there's some talk and some legislation around the country.
Well,
We're
again,
studying this.
I wanted you to make that commitment without the legislation. Since you say you're a good company, you want to do good things, why not?
It's something we can look into and get back to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, we also have in our bill a requirement of heightened protection for sensitive data, particularly location and health data. Would you commit
What's up, Kay?
to not gathering or dealing with location or health data unless you get affirmative consent from the consumer? In other words, under our bill, those are categorized as sensitive, and unless the person specifically says, I want you to collect that data, you wouldn't be able to, location and health data. Would you commit to that?
Congressman, in principle, I support that. Which, by the way, we do not collect precise GPS data at this point, and I do not believe we collect any health data.
All right, so would you be willing to make that commitment that from now on you won't collect location and health data without, you're saying at all? Is that
Congressman,
a commitment?
this is data that's frequently collected by many other companies in our industry.
I know other companies do it. I don't think they should without affirmative consent. You said you want to be a good actor. So why not make that commitment to me today?
We're committed to be very transparent with our users about what we collect. I don't believe what we collect is more than most
You see,
players
my
in the
problem here is you're trying to give the impression that you're going to move away from Beijing and the Communist Party. You're trying to give the impression that you're a good actor. But the commitments that we would seek to achieve those goals are not being made today. They're just not being made. You're going to continue to gather data. You're going to continue to sell data. You're going to continue to do all these things and continue to be under the aegis of the Communist Party through your organization that owns you. So, in any case, thank you, Madam Chair.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Burgess, for 5 minutes.
We're just warming up,
Thank you,
folks.
Thank you, Mr. Shou, for joining us today. I think we've heard you say multiple times that TikTok is not a Chinese company, that ByteDance is not a Chinese company. But according to an article in today,
What's up, Antonio? What's up, y'all? Guys, don't forget, if you're on IG, you always want to pop through on the YouTube live. All right, you can see it right below DJ MoonDawg Live. Come fuck with me on the YouTube side. There's a bunch of ladies in the YouTube chat right now. By the way, I'm just saying. That's where I stream all the time. So slide on over, come support. You know what I'm saying? Become a member. Support your boy if you enjoy the content. It means a lot. Have you ever asked why the U.S. Oh shit, I missed what that was. Have you ever asked why the USA is in the primary country where scammers hit? Where do they get the data to contact someone? Probably from the brokers, or they just been hacking and stuff. All right, let's continue.
today's Wall Street Journal, quoting here, China's Commerce Ministry said Thursday that a sale or divestiture of TikTok will involve exporting technology that has to be approved by the Chinese government. Continuing to quote, the reported efforts by the Biden administration would severely undermine global investors' confidence in the U.S., said Shou, a ministry spokeswoman. Continuing to quote, if that is true, China will firmly oppose it, she said, referring to the forced sale. So despite your assertions to the contrary, China certainly thinks it is in control of TikTok and its software. Is that not correct?
Congressman, TikTok is not available in mainland China. And today we're headquartered in Los Angeles and Singapore. But I'm not saying that the founders of ByteDance are not Chinese, nor am I saying that we don't make use of Chinese employees, just like many other companies around the world. We do use their expertise on some engineering projects.
But according to their ministry spokesman,
On that right there that's where it becomes like in the weeds, right? They're utilizing some Chinese employees for engineering. Engineering what? The algorithm, right? It's not difficult for the intelligence agencies or whoever, the communist Chinese government, to implant someone as an engineer to work at this company under the disguise of just being some regular software engineer that is covertly doing all kinds of other stuff. I'm saying, reporting back, or maybe injecting a few lines of code here and there, and setting it up in such a way where you don't see it all at once. They put them in segments, and it's arranged in a way that they communicate in the coding. It can be very complex. They're very capable. They're very capable when it comes to this stuff.
spokeswoman, it would be a divestiture of
I had to break out the regular
exporting
degler.
technology from China.
That's a
So
good
they, again, China thinks they own it, even though you do not. Madam Chair, I'd just like to ask unanimous consent to put today's Wall Street Journal
Without objection, so ordered.
into the record.
Yeah, the original video. I mean, you can find it on YouTube. You can also watch this whole live stream back, guys. If you missed anything, all my live streams are on my YouTube channel, djmoondawglive. You can sub to the channel, watch it live on YouTube. It's a better viewing experience. And then all the lives are up after we're done. You can watch them back like a podcast at your leisure as you're driving, or you're at the crib cleaning or cooking. You can watch them and listen in to what we did for the day if you missed anything.
And Mr. Shou, I wouldn't ask you to discuss any privileged attorney-client materials, but did anyone aside from your lawyers assist you in preparation for today's hearing?
I prepared for this hearing with my team here in DC.
Did anyone at ByteDance directly provide input, help, or instruction for your testimony today?
Congressman, this is a very high-profile hearing. My phone is full of well wishes. But I prepared for this hearing with my team here in DC.
Are you willing to share who helped prepare you for this hearing?
I'll try to touch on that
with the
later,
committee?
D, after we get through some of
You
this.
can do that
I
in
can
writing.
follow up with you if
Okay.
you like.
Can you guarantee that no one at ByteDance had a role in preparing you for today's hearing?
Like I said, Congressman, this is a high-profile hearing. A lot of people around the world were sending me wishes and unsolicited advice, but I prepared for this hearing with my team here in DC.
Are the attorneys representing TikTok also representing ByteDance?
Yes, I believe so.
What percentage of TikTok revenue does ByteDance retain? Just give me a ballpark estimate if you don't precisely know.
Congressman, like I said, as a private company, we are not prepared to disclose our financials in public today.
But can we ask you to get back to us with a ballpark? We're not asking for the precise figures, but to get, so the committee can have some understanding of the percentage of TikTok revenue that ByteDance retains.
I understand the question. Respectfully, as a private company, we are not disclosing our financials today.
Prior to today's hearing, did anyone affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party discuss this hearing with you, or anyone else on TikTok senior management?
Congressman, since I've been CEO of this company, I have not had any discussions with Chinese government officials.
And that's a smart thing, right? He's not going to. They're not going to put him in that position to expose him in that way. He has plausible deniability 100%. That's why they're poking at the. Have you talked with people at ByteDance? The people at ByteDance are going to be the bridge between the Communist Party and TikTok. They're going to be the bridge, so that he can always say, like he's saying right now, I never talked to anybody from the Chinese government. I didn't know. He did, because he didn't. However, he did say that many people hit him up with unsolicited information. It was a fancy way of probably saying that, yeah, people from ByteDance reached out and was like, don't fuck this up or your head's going on the spike. You know what I'm saying? Or some wild shit like that. But truth be told, they would never directly talk to him, the Chinese government, because then it puts him in the spot where he has to lie. He can always have that plausible deniability when there's an intermediary that is between them, you know?
But what about the Chinese Communist Party itself? Have any of those officials discussed this with you?
Like I said, I have not had any discussion with Chinese government officials. I don't know the political
it's called
affiliation of everybody I
Dohan?
speak to, so I can't verify
Q?
the statement.
Let me ask you a question in a different direction. A few weeks ago, this committee had a field hearing down in McAllen, Texas, and it was on the issue of fentanyl and illegal immigration. And one of our witnesses, Brandon Judd, a 25-year veteran Border Patrol agent, said that all social media platforms play a role in illegal immigration. That's one of the ways cartels advertise their services throughout the world and convince people to put themselves in their hands and come to the United States. The cartels all use social media platforms. Are you aware of this phenomenon?
Any content that promotes human abuse is violative of our community guidelines, which dictates what is allowed and not allowed on our platform. We proactively identify and remove them from our platform.
Well, it would be very helpful if you would share with the committee examples of how you have removed people, because what we heard at the hearing was that TikTok was one of the platforms that recruits adolescents in the United States to help with transporting people who are in the country who've been trafficked into the country, as well as contraband substances. Would you help us with that, understanding who you have removed from your platform?
Congressman, I'll be delighted to check with my team and get back to yours and be collaborative.
Thank you. I'll yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. Chair recognizes the lady from California, Ms. Shou, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mr. Shou, thank you for being here today. As members of Congress, our very first and top responsibility is to protect and defend. Protect and defend our Constitution and the national security of our country. So I view this entire issue, now there are many parts of it that are not part of our national security, in my view, but first and foremost for our national security. So in examining TikTok breaking away from ByteDance, I'd like to ask you some questions about that and how
Spit that shit
severance,
out.
in terms of the
Goddamn.
relationship with ByteDance, how user data, American users' data, would be protected. Now, under Beijing's security laws, Article 7 compels companies to provide data. Article 10 makes the reach of the law extraterritorial. Now, this is very clear. I don't need to read all of it into the record, but those are the laws of the PRC. How does ByteDance, how does TikTok, rather, how do you convince the Congress of the United States that there can be a clean break? Why would the Chinese government sidestep their national law, including Article 7, Article 10, in terms of user data?
So if you didn't catch that, because she delivered that pretty poorly and it was all over the place, she basically read off saying that in China, the government has like these laws, and that for these companies, they really can't do shit unless the government approves it, type shit. The idea here is that there's been talks that maybe the government, U.S. government, would allow TikTok to not ban them if ByteDance divested TikTok, meaning ByteDance sells TikTok off to another ownership, right? And no longer is connected to ByteDance. And somebody asked, who was it? Caesar said, what's ByteDance? Let me recap this. I know there's new people coming here. Here's the whole graphic I did. I know, beautiful, amazing work. Okay. Here's TikTok. All right. TikTok is a subsidiary of ByteDance. ByteDance is a Chinese company. The issue is that the CCP, the Communist Chinese Communist Party that rules China, can essentially backdoor, this is what this line is up here, backdoor into TikTok to gather information, or worse, utilize the algorithm to feed and sway public sentiment about any number of things. Maybe it's race, maybe it's an election, maybe it's about policy here in the US. That is the concern, underlying concern. And while so many TikTokers are so focused on, oh, well, the government just hates TikTok, they just want to ban them because Facebook and everybody else is paying money, they want to shut them down. That is probably plays a part in it, but this is the underlying concern. When they talk about national security, this is that loop. And so they're talking about, well, what if ByteDance sells off TikTok? But what the Congresswoman is saying here is, per their law, the Chinese government, Communist Party law, ByteDance might not have the say to do this. Their government would block it, because clearly the CCP sees this as vital. You know, this algorithm and tapping into this shit, that is a great asset for them. So to give that up and let TikTok just be sold off, oh, that would completely interfere with their intelligence plans and all of that propaganda, so many different things.
Congressman, thank you for the question. I'm glad you asked this. As I said in the opening statement, our plan is to move American data to be stored on American soil by the American company.
I understand that, but you're sidestepping, or I haven't read anything in terms of TikTok, how you can actually say, and you spoke in your opening statement about a firewall relative to the data. But the Chinese government has that data. How can you promise that that will move into the United States of America and be protected here?
Congresswoman, I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know what?
I
find that actually preposterous.
I have looked in, I have seen no evidence of this happening. And in order to assure everybody here and all our users, our commitment is to move the data into the United States to be stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel. So the risk will be similar to any government going to an American company asking for data. If that
Well, I'm one that doesn't believe that there is really a private sector in China. And when you look at their national law and what specifically these two articles, Article 7 and Article 10, are very clear. So I think that there is a real problem relative to our national security about the protection of the user data. I don't believe that TikTok has, that you have said or done anything to convince us that information, the personal information of 150 million Americans, that the Chinese government is not going to give that up. So
Congressman,
can you tell me who writes the algorithms for TikTok?
Today, the algorithm that powers the US user experience is running in the Oracle Cloud infrastructure. Yes, initially there were parts of the source code, especially at the infrastructure layer, that doesn't touch the user experience. Now, that's a collaborative global effort, including built by engineers in China, just like many other companies, by the way. The phone you use, the car you drive is a global collaborative effort. Now, but today, the business sites and the main parts of the code for TikTok is written by TikTok employees. And, Congresswoman, what we are offering is third-party monitoring of our source code. I am not aware of any company, American companies or otherwise, that has actually done that. Because we are saying we want to give you transparency and rely on third parties to make sure that we get all the comfort that we need about the experience.
Well, my time is up and I yield back. Thank you.
Lady yields back. Pleased to yield to the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Latta, for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Unlike the Chinese Communist Party, the United States believes in individual freedom, innovation, and entrepreneurship. That is in part why Congress enacted Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Our goal is to promote growth of the online ecosystem in the United States and to protect companies from being held liable for good faith efforts to moderate their platforms. Last year, a federal judge in Pennsylvania found that Section 230 protected TikTok from being held responsible for the death of a 10-year-old girl who participated in a blackout challenge, also known as the choking challenge. TikTok actively pushes video on her feed. Unfortunately, this is one of the many devastating examples of children losing their lives because of content promoted by TikTok. Section 230 was never intended to shield companies like yours from amplifying dangerous and life-threatening content to children. Do you consider this to be a good faith moderation?
Congressman, as a father myself, when I hear about the tragic deaths of
My question
young people,
is,
it's
do
heartbreaking.
you find that good faith moderation?
Well, Congressman, Section 230 is a very complex issue.
Yes or no?
We are very focused on safety, and all these dangerous
I'm gonna have to
challenges
assume
are
that as a
removed when
no.
we find them.
Do you believe TikTok deserves this liability protection?
I'm sorry, Congressman.
Do you believe that TikTok deserves this liability protection under Section 230?
Congressman, as you pointed out, 230 has been very important for freedom of expression on the internet. It's one of the commitments we have given to this committee and our users, and I do think it's important to preserve that. But companies should be raising the bar on safety.
Let me follow
I
up.
really agree
Let
with
me just
that.
follow up real quickly from your own testimony. When you told us and you repeated it, we'll keep safety, particularly for teenagers, a top priority for us. When you're saying you're making that following commitment, why did you have to wait till now to make that following commitment now and not having done it before when this 10-year-old lost her life?
Congressman, I'm reiterating the
He getting
commitment.
pressed so
Internally,
hard,
in
bro.
all my priorities, which is public to my employees,
Okay, this
safety has always been a priority.
This company is a picture-perfect example of why this committee and Congress needs to take action immediately to amend Section 230. When we recently met, I asked you if the Chinese Communist Party can currently access user data, and you did not have a clear answer. So today I want to follow up. You heard it a little bit, but I want to be absolutely sure of this answer. Are employees of ByteDance subject to Chinese law, including the 2017 National Intelligence Law, which requires any organization or citizen to support, assist, and cooperate with state intelligence work in accordance with the law?
like many companies, including many American companies, we rely on a global workforce, including engineers in China.
Okay, but no.
We've
yes,
heard this
no.
line already.
So in the past, yes.
I'm
In
sorry?
the past, yes, but we are building Project Texas, and we're committing the firewall of all protected data from unwanted foreign access.
Taking that as a yes because, again, on your Article 7, the Article 7 of the 2017 National Intelligence Law, which I just said, because it says, in addition, as was asked a little bit earlier, the 2014 counter-espionage law states that when the state security organ investigates and understands the situation of espionage and collect relevant evidence, the relevant organizations and individuals, it does not say may, it says shall provide it truthfully and may not refuse. Yes or no? Do any ByteDance employees in China, including engineers, currently have access to U.S. user data?
Today, all U.S. user data is stored by default in the Oracle Cloud infrastructure, and
That's the
access to
question.
that
The
is
question
controlled
do any
by American
ByteDance
personnel.
employees in China, including engineers, currently have access to U.S. data?
Congressman, I would appreciate, this is a complex topic. Today, all data is
Yes,
stored
yes or
by
no? No, it's
default.
not that complex. Yes or no, do they have access to user data?
We have, after Project Texas is done, the answer is no. Today, there is
Yeah,
still
so
some
you're
data
saying
that we need
yes,
to delete.
but we've heard
from
already
Virginia.
from the ranking member that he doesn't, and that he doesn't really see that Project Texas is going to be useful. So I think I'm taking that as a no because, again, the question is what came to come up earlier, are that on December the 22nd of last year, when ByteDance confirmed some of its Chinese employees had accessed TikTok data to monitor and track the physical location of journalists. So I took that as a yes from an earlier answer. You know, earlier this week, you posted a TikTok video asking American users to mobilize in support of your app and oppose the potential U.S. government action to ban TikTok in the United States. Based on the established relationship between your company and the Chinese Communist Party, it's impossible for me to conclude that the video is anything different than the type of propaganda that the CCP requires Chinese companies to push on its citizens. Now I yield back.
Yields back.
They're pressing
Chair
them.
recognizes the lady from Colorado, Ms. DeGette, for 5
Full
minutes.
court press.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Mr. Shou, like my colleagues, I'm concerned about the influence of China on TikTok and what that does for U.S. users. But I'm also concerned about how the content in TikTok is being distributed, particularly to young people. This is not a problem unique to TikTok, but TikTok has 150 million users in the United States. And so I think you'll agree that TikTok has a particular responsibility to monitor content to make sure that it's safe and accurate. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, I agree with that.
So, you know, I know you said in your opening statement there's a ban for or
That's so true,
limited
Rican. It
for
does.
kids under 13 and under 18 and so on. But I know it won't be news for you that computer savvy kids actually can bypass some of those restrictions quite frequently, and they can do it even if they have parental oversight. And so what I want to ask you is rather than putting the burden on young people and parents to accurately put in the birth date and so on when registering for TikTok, I want to ask you what TikTok can do to make sure to monitor this content. And I want to give you some examples of some of the extreme content. Mr. Latta talked about the blackout challenge and some of the dangers to young people's safety, but there's also extreme
Yeah, I got
content
you, Cece. I
around
meant to ask you what
healthcare
you needed. I got
information.
you.
In one study, 13 out of 20 results
I'll dim you tonight after
for
the stream.
the question, does mugwort induce abortion? It talked about herbal so-called abortifacients.
That's how it goes, Q.
Like papaya seeds, which don't work. And so if people searching for information on safe abortions went on TikTok, they could get devastatingly incorrect information. Another study showed that TikTok had a hydroxychloroquine tutorial on how to fabricate this from grapefruit. Now, there's two problems with that. Number one, hydroxychloroquine is not effective in treating COVID. So that's one issue. The second issue is you can't even make hydroxychloroquine from grapefruit. So again,
What's up,
this
C?
is a really serious miscommunication about healthcare information that people looking at TikTok are able to get. And in fact, it's being pushed out to them. So I want to know from you, and I will give you time to answer this. You have current controls, but the current controls are not working to keep this information mainly from young people, but from Americans in general. What more is TikTok doing to try to strengthen its review to keep this information from coming across to people?
Thank you for the question, Congresswoman. The dangerous misinformation that you mentioned
Yo, I
is
appreciate
not
that, Ace. Thank you,
allowed on
brother.
the platform. It violates
Welcome,
them.
bro.
I'm sorry to report it is on your platform, though.
Congresswoman, I don't think I can sit here and say that we are perfect in doing this. We do work very
now
hard.
it's- We're
How
not
can you
perfect.
make yourself more perfect? I don't want you to say it's not there or you apologize. What can you do to limit it as much as possible, more than what you're doing now?
We invest a significant amount in our content moderation work. I shared that number in my written
And I know
testimony.
you're investing,
Yes.
but what steps are you taking to improve the AI or whatever else you're doing to limit this content?
For example, if you search for certain search terms, we do direct you on TikTok to safety resources. That's one of the things we have done. We will continue to invest in this. I recognize and fully align with you that this is a problem that faces our industry, that we need to really invest and address. This, I'm very in alignment. The vast majority of our users come to our platform for entertaining, safe content, but there are people who do have some.
Look at
who
these
do spread
nodding
some
ass, head ass
dangerous
motherfuckers right
misinformation.
here.
We need to take that very
This guy,
seriously.
clearly this guy works for him, and then I don't know who this guy is, but he's just, yep, that's right. Must be a fucking TikTok creator that's riding the TikTok dick.
Invest in it, proactively identify it, and remove it from our platform.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right now. I asked you specifically how you were how you're trying to increase your review of this, and you gave me only generalized statements that you're investing, that you're concerned, that you're doing more. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for the parents of America. I'm going to ask you to supplement your testimony and have your experts tell me what you're doing to make this a higher level of scrutiny, not just pablum at a hearing. Thank you.
She went
I
in.
yield back.
Hey, she went in. No shot. Monica, good night, baby.
Lady yields back. Chair recognizes gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Morris Rogers, for holding this important hearing. I appreciate the witness, Mr. Shou, for making yourself available here today. While many consider TikTok to be just another video sharing app, in reality, TikTok has been functioning as a massive surveillance program, collecting vast swaths of personal data from more than 1 billion people worldwide. This includes data from the personal devices of federal employees, contractors, and most concerning, U.S. military service members and their families at places like Fort Bragg in North Carolina. As Fort Bragg's congressman, I have serious concerns about the opportunities TikTok gives the Chinese Communist Party to access the non-public sensitive data of our men and women in uniform. This personal data and location information can be harvested and could be used for blackmail, to conduct espionage, and to possibly even reveal troop movements. While the Department of
All true. So the way the intelligence game goes is all they need to do is use that information to put together a profile. And if they figure out that if they figure out your profile, they can use that. They can use, and essentially how they get people to become agents for you is they find out if you got any kind of moral lapses. All right. This is why when you work for the government, you get your top secret security clearance. They vet you out because they're looking to see if you have any kind of weaknesses. Are you gambling? Are you super? Are you getting hookers? Because these are all areas that you can expose you to being flipped and becoming an agent for another country. So you have to have good moral ground, and with all the information they're gathering, as he said here, they can put profiles together. If they figure out someone, if they identify someone as a captain in the army and he's he's the officer in charge of some important function. And they're on the app. It's not that hard to start using the app to then gather information and then figure out, oh, he tends to watch a lot of young kids on TikTok. That's a little sus as a grown-ass man to be watching little kids do stuff on a platform. They can use them like, oh, something off right here. Let's try and catch them. Let's get them in a real precarious situation. Let's hit them up acting like we're some young person, and then we surprise them with, nope. Now we've got information to blackmail you, and now you know what I'm saying? Now you're feeding information. So what he's saying here is all factual. That's how that works. They're looking for those flaws in people to then expose them and flip them.
Defense and most agencies have banned TikTok on government-issued devices.
What's up, Savage?
I believe more needs to be done at the command
Weakest
level to
link.
urge troops and their
Exactly.
dependents to erase the app from the personal devices and keep them off home Wi-Fi. Having an app banned on a device in one pocket but downloaded on your device in
Can't
the
wait to
other
see
doesn't
TikTok
make a
and
lot of
these
sense to me.
balloons.
I believe Congress and DOD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Shou, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the.
So if I have TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network?
Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms. I believe the answer to your question is no. It could be technical. Let me get back to you.
Okay, I'd appreciate it if you can answer that. I'd like to change directions real quick. Do you receive personal employment, salary, compensation, or benefits from ByteDance?
Yes, I do.
What is your salary from ByteDance?
Congressman, if you don't mind, I would prefer to keep my compensation private.
Okay. Do you personally have any company shares or stock in ByteDance or Douyin?
Congressman, if you don't mind, I would like to keep my personal assets private.
Is TikTok the company your only source of employment compensation? Where's your other source of income outside of TikTok?
It's my only source of compensation.
Do you have any financial debts or obligations to ByteDance, Douyin, or any other ByteDance affiliated entity?
Personally? No, I do not.
Does your management team receive separate salary, compensation, or benefits from ByteDance?
We receive salaries from the entities that we are employed in, but we do share in the employee stock option plan that is available from the ByteDance top company.
So your primary salary comes from TikTok, but you have other compensation that comes directly from ByteDance?
You can characterize it as that, yes.
Does your management team have company shares or stock in ByteDance or Douyin?
Yes, some of our
Oh,
employees
it's not
are
news, brother.
compensated
It's a congressional
shares
hearing
in
about
ByteDance.
TikTok, how they can
Does
they
TikTok
grilled his
share
ass and about to ban
technological
this shit.
resources with Douyin? Are the two technology systems or IT systems interconnected in any way?
There are, as with many companies, some shared resources on some services, but it doesn't include anything that involves U.S. user data, Congressman, is in Project Texas, as we talked about, stored by default in American soil by an American company.
But currently there is shared technology or interconnected IT systems.
Congressman, with respect, I have to get back to you. This could be a very broad question. Like, for example,
Yeah,
we
I
could
think they're
all
going
be
to ban
using
it after
Microsoft
this.
Windows.
After this hearing,
Yeah, if you could get back with details on that, I'd appreciate
Yes.
it.
remember, like we said, what's so important about this, right? Why people might be writing this thing off, but what I'm saying is so important about this is that Democrats and Republicans are both unified on this fucking subject. When do we ever see them unified on anything? Anything? Tell me. Anything? Never. But they are united on this front, and every congressperson on this hearing is grilling his ass. Dems, Republicans, they are all in this. It's a Shark Tank, and this guy's a poor little fucking tuna in the Shark Tank getting ate up. So I think it's coming. I think they did the hearing. They did the hearing here as like a maybe a last sign to let people know it's coming.
Can Douyin personnel or employees access TikTok user data?
Not after Project Texas, this is not allowed.
Are there employees who are employed by both Douyin and TikTok?
I do not believe so.
Okay. And so I don't believe so. Is that I mean, if, again, I'll allow you to come back in the written response if you could give me a definitive answer.
I will go back and check to be very sure.
Okay, thank you. I'm also concerned about an issue that our chairwoman brought up about an apparent pattern of misinformation or misrepresentation from your company in regards to the amount and extent of data that you're collecting, as well as how much has been accessed from inside China. There are dozens of public reports that conclude individuals in the People's Republic of China have been accessing data on U.S. users, directly contradicting several public statements by TikTok employees. And I'm referencing Project Raven, which was first reported on by Forbes last October. Their investigation revealed, I'm sorry, I'm about out of time. Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, Congressman. We do not condone the effort by certain former employees to access U.S. TikTok user data in an attempt to identify the source of leaked confidential information. We condemn these actions. After learning about them, we found a highly reputable law firm to thoroughly investigate the incident. We took swift disciplinary action against employees who were found to be involved and are implementing measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. We have made this team available to you. I think they have briefed many of you in this committee very extensively, and I will continue to make them very available to you as part of our transparent commitment.
We took swift action against them. Basically, you sent them back to, you didn't do shit, bro. They were shills for the communist Chinese government agents. You didn't fire them or nothing. They just went back and reported back on whatever they had. You know what I mean?
Thank you. My time.
Here's $1 million question. Should it be banned? I think so. I think so. I think it should be banned for twofold. One, the biggest reason is the security threat that it poses. And people are just not understanding that at large. That's part of the reason why we're watching it now, to talk about it. Like, like people got to really, people have been taking the blue pill on this fucking TikTok shit. And I'm here to tell y'all, it's like the Matrix. You need to take the red pill on this one and really open up your eyes about what the threat is. And again, this amazing graphic I drew up here to explain the whole cycle here in this loop is what this is fundamentally all about. Now, some of the other stuff around it, about, the other apps that are trying to boot it out because it's competition and because they're leading the market with short form content. Yeah, sure. That's probably just like icing on the cake. But the crux of everything is all around. I mean, look at all their questions have been all around the CCP and ByteDance and the connection there. They really haven't even talked about anything else. Their focus is on the safety of kids, and it should be banned for that. And another reason why I think is just because I think we need a reset. We as a society need a social media reset. You know what I mean? So many people are jacked in so deep into social media that they're just in a whole nother world, and it's crazy that it's social media has turned into what it is. So I think unplugging from it, TikTok is very addictive. I don't know how many times, and I've gotten better. I realized this over some period of time when I first got on TikTok, and I'm sure some of y'all probably relate to this. How many times you get ready to go to bed, you lay down, and you're like, all right, you're getting comfortable, but you're like, you're not quite ready to go to sleep. So you know what? Let me just go pull up my phone and let me see what's on TikTok. I'll just look at a couple of TikToks real quick, and then I'll knock out. You open it up, 2 hours, 3 hours later, you're like, oh fuck, I've been sitting here scrolling endlessly like a bot, like an NPC for hours. That is how powerful that fucking app and algorithm is. That you can't tell me it's not dangerous. Think about what it's doing. I mean, it got me as an adult, and I know that it's addictive. And it got me a couple of times like, oh, fuck, what am I doing up? It's like 4 a.m. Why am I on here for the last 2 hours? I caught myself. Imagine younger people, kids, teenagers that their mind ain't fully developed there yet, that are being sucked into this shit. You know what I mean? That's the scary part of it all, about it all.
Time's expired. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes the lady from Illinois, Ms. Shurkowski, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. So today, in the Wall Street Journal, they said, today, China, China's commerce minister said that China opposes the sale of TikTok because it would involve exporting China's technology and would, and this is the important part, and would need to be approved by the Chinese government. Would need to be approved by the Chinese government. So all of what you've been saying about the distance between TikTok and China has been said to be not true in the paper today, and I would like to see what you have to say in response.
You're talking about me right now?
I do disagree with that characterization.
I knew somebody
think
would feel that
we
way.
have designed Project Texas to protect U.S. user interests and to move forward here in the U.S. Again, it's the protections of storing American data on American soil by an American company looked after by American personnel. And I do not think that our commitments to this committee and all our users is impacted by any event that you mentioned. Now, the whole discussion on this, the resolution of this is an ongoing and developing event. So we will continue to pay attention to this, and we'll get back to you when we have more specifics.
So
my commitments stand. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's an ongoing debate, apparently with China, so it's hard to say with any certainty that China would not have any influence. But let me ask another question. Last fall, along with Gus Bilirakis, who were chair and co-chair of the subcommittee together, were told that TikTok had surveilled, was involved in surveillance of users, very personal information. And you might say, well, not more than other companies, and I agree with
what's up, man? I like that name. Yes, it is real. What's up, bro?
I really don't want to go by that standard particularly, but that TikTok's in-app browser surveilled everything from Americans.
Oh, no. This is it happened earlier. We're watching the playback.
Credit card numbers, etc. So I just want to ask you if TikTok did track and collect this sensitive data that Americans don't want to have disclosed.
Congressman, thank you. I'm glad you asked this question because, like you pointed out, we actually do not believe we collect more data than any other social media company out there. A lot of these reports, and we can talk about which specific one you're talking about, a lot of them are not that accurate. Some of them we have we have actually gotten in touch with the authors to help them understand the data that we're collecting. A lot of it is speculation. This is something they could do. But if you look at the subtext, this is something that every company could do.
I'm running out of time. Let me just say that if TikTok chose not to take this sensitive information that you don't need for a transaction and support our comprehensive privacy bill, that would be very helpful. The other thing I wanted to ask, so really this is a yes or no, that does TikTok share user information from companies, from parent companies, from affiliated, or send user information to overseas?
In the past, yes, for interoperability purposes. Now, after Project Texas, all protected U.S. data will be stored here with the access controlled by a special team of U.S. personnel. Again, Congresswoman, this is something that, as far as I understand, no other company, including American companies, are willing to go. So maybe this is something that we can ask the industry to provide, not just us, to protect U.S. user interests.
In the case of sharing information, I do want to quote from employees that you had, and here's the quote. Everything is seen in China, is really what they said. People who were in touch with the sensitive data were saying that. How do you respond to that?
I disagree with that statement.
Well, I know you disagree with that statement, but my point is, how does that happen that employees of the company are saying that in fact that's not true.
I cannot speak to, I don't know who this person is, so I cannot speak to what the person has.
He got
or
no
has
answer
not
for
said.
this one. He got
What
no
I can
answer
say
for
is,
this one.
You know, based on my position in this company and the responsibility that I have, that statement is just not true.
Okay, unfortunately, and I'll close, I guess I'm over my time. We need to look into the facts of this, and so do you. And I yield back.
Gentlelady,
Yo, I think we definitely need more TikTok whistleblowers. I know. In fact, I'm so surprised that there hasn't been more employees that haven't come out and spoken out and whistleblown on that company yet. It's almost like I don't know. Maybe they're paying them so good. It's almost like an indirect hush money thing because all those employees are getting paid. I think they got like 7,000 employees in the U.S., which is fucking a lot. Twitter had about 7,000, and after Elon came, and they trimmed that all the way down. That's a lot of employees. You know, I guess the argument can be made, do you need them all 7,000? Who knows? Maybe they do. I don't know. But I'm really surprised no one has come out and spoken out. So for whatever reason, something about that company, whether it's the pay they're giving out or it's the culture within, that there's the people that work for that company are not stepping out in the middle of this to speak out against it, which is surprising me. I thought we would have had somebody by now and be like, yo, yep, I'm an engineer and I actually saw, you know, this happen and yada, 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 you know, to expose them. It's been pretty tight-lipped. You know what I mean? Bro, I don't want to go to YouTube Shorts. I'd rather stay on TikTok. You know, my thing with YouTube Shorts is it needs to be refined. It's got potential, though. It's got a lot of potential. It just needs to be refined. And the algorithm isn't hitting the same way as TikTok. But I think that's by design. I think I recall seeing something about YouTube approaching Shorts in a way that it's not the same kind of a hit the same way. Like, for instance, I've put up videos on my Instagram and my TikTok that have hit millions of views. I put it up on my YouTube Shorts, 1,000, 2,000. How is it not hitting the same? How is that video not hitting the same? So there's clearly a different way that YouTube's algorithm for Shorts works. That being said, if we're stuck with Shorts, yeah, I think people are not going to be happy because you're not going to be being fed the kind of videos that you would on TikTok, the quality of videos that you would find interesting. Maybe they're paying them or they just aren't. Who knows, bro? I think they might be just paying them really good, bro. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you getting paid $250,000, $150,000 a year, $200K. I mean, these engineers are getting paid good six figures, easy. You know what I mean? Do I really want to run my mouth if I'm making $300K a year plus bonuses plus stock options? A lot of people, all right, let's be honest. A lot of people's moral compass will magically look the other way when you're getting all of that. You could be a very moral person, but even some of the best people that are highly moral will turn a blind eye when you're making that much money.
yields back. Chair recognizes the lady from Florida, Ms. Kamek, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mr. Shou, are you aware
This is gonna be the last one we're
Chinese
gonna watch.
Communist Party leader Chairman Xi Jinping's comments in May 2021 during a Communist Politburo study session where he instructed colleagues to target different countries, different audiences with short-form video? Are you aware of these comments? Yes or no?
Congressman, I'm not aware of these comments.
Okay. Well, and as was pointed out by Chairwoman Rogers, you have regular contact with Chinese Communist Party Secretary, Mr. Zhang Fuping, who is your boss at ByteDance, correct?
No.
No.
No, he's
Interesting.
neither my boss, nor do we have frequent contact.
But you have regular contact with ByteDance,
With the CEO of ByteDance.
who is, Mr. Zhang Fuping is the
He's not.
editor-in-chief.
He's not the
My
CEO.
colleague, Representative Burgess, a few minutes ago exposed that TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
Our general counsel is
Yes.
an
Yes or
American
no?
lawyer,
Yes.
veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my
many years.
colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent company, ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be more
Yes.
specific.
Yes.
After
You
Project
say-
Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas, I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which
So
means
you confirm
everybody
that. Confirm that.
can
She's
see.
going hard in the
Interesting
paint.
to me is that you have used the word transparency over a half a dozen times in your opening testimony and subsequently again in your answers to my colleagues. Yet the interesting thing to me is that ByteDance, your parent company, has gone out of their way to hide an airbrush corporate structure ties to the CCP, the company's founder, and their activities. You can look no further than the fact that ByteDance website has been scrubbed. In fact, we found web pages from the Beijing Internet Association, the industry association charged with Communist Party building work of internet companies in Beijing. They have been archived, but since deleted. Makes you kind of wonder why. Yes or no, ByteDance is required to have a member of the Chinese government on its board with veto power. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. ByteDance owns some Chinese businesses, and you're talking about a very special subsidiary that is
Mr.
for
Shou,
Chinese business
Mr.
licensing
Shou,
purposes.
I'm going to have to move on. You've said repeatedly that there is no threat, that this is a platform for entertainment and for fun. I have to ask you then, if there is no threat to Americans, if there is no threat to our data, privacy, security, why did an internal memo from TikTok corporate headquarters explicitly coach senior management to, quote, downplay the parent company ByteDance? Why would they say downplay the China Association and downplay AI? This is from an internal memo from your company. Why, if you had nothing to
Who
hide,
sent it?
would you need to downplay
I mean, he had to authorize
the
it, so that's on
association
him.
with ByteDance in China?
Congresswoman, I have not seen this memo.
You
What I
can't
can
answer
say-
that question. Mr. Shou, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a short video, if you don't mind.
She going in, dog. She must be a lawyer by trade or something. I don't know, but she's on it.
Mr. Shou, that video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F at the House Energy and Commerce Committee on March 23rd of this year. This video was posted before this hearing was publicly noticed. I think that's a very interesting point to raise. But more concerning is the fact that it names this chairwoman by name. Your own community guidelines state
Oof.
that you have a firm stance against enabling violence on or off TikTok. We do not allow people to use our platform to threaten or incite violence or to promote violent extremist organizations, individuals, or acts. When there is a threat to public safety or an account is used to promote or glorify off-platform violence, we
Nah, you
ban
can't
the
joke like
account.
that.
This video has been up for 41 days. It is a direct threat to the chairwoman of this committee, the people in this room, and yet it still remains on the platform. And you expect us to believe that you are capable of maintaining the data security, privacy, and security of 150 million Americans where you can't even protect the people in this room? I think that is a blatant display of how vulnerable people who use TikTok are. You couldn't take action after 41 days when a clear threat, a very violent threat to the chairwoman of this committee and the members of this committee was posted on your platform.
Shoo, she went off, bro. She went off. What time is it? It is 2:22 a.m. Yo, the thing about this, what's up, is that you can't joke like this anymore. Not with that shit. That's not a joke, bro. You just can't do it anymore. Not the way society's turn around and people be shooting up places. You can't. That ain't no joke. You just can't do that. You know what I mean?
You damn well know that you cannot protect the data and security of this committee or the 150 million users of your app because it is an extension of the CCP. And with that, I yield back.
Can I respond, Chair?
No, we're going to move on.
Oh,
Gentlelady
he's
yields back.
had to eat that shit pie.
Chairman recognizes the lady from California.
This guy, this smug guy right here, not his head. Clearly, he I don't know if he's counsel or he's part of the C-suite with this guy, but he clearly he's with the CEO. Oh, sourpuss face ass.
Suey for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I'm really glad that we're having.
By the way, a lot of the comments I saw on social media after this happened was, "Oh my God, they didn't let him talk. Oh my God, look at that. What a disgrace." So many, how do I want to say this? To those idiots out there, I understand that you have no idea how government works. You don't watch any of these hearings, none of that. You see a clip or two on social media, and then you base your whole knowledge on politics and government on that. I'm here to let you know that what happened to Mr. Shou in this hearing happens on all hearings. Okay? This is not new. This is what happens in the vast majority of hearings. Usually it's from whatever party doesn't like what's happening. So if it's somebody else up there, and if it's the Republicans that don't like what that person is doing, they're gonna hit them with the same questioning where they don't give them a chance to answer, or they're just like yes or no, next. I'm reclaiming my time. If it could be and then on another situation or another committee, it could be the Democrats that are not happy about something with whoever is speaking, and then their questioning is very much the same way. Yes, no, and they cut them off, and then they reclaim their time. They do this. This is not new. He's not some exception. So people out there freaking losing their mind about how he got dealt this whole line of questioning. Welcome to politics. It's not new. Start to fucking watch C-SPAN and learn about how this shit happens, bro. Some people are clueless, bro.
Having this very important hearing here today. And let me just say, make no mistake, the Chinese government represents a real and immediate threat. Look,
well, you know what? I'm gonna wrap it here because this thing is like, bro, it's like 5.5 hours long. I'm not gonna cover it all today. We kind of got the gist of it. There's more stuff that happens in it. I watched it up until about the 2-hour mark, so I didn't see the rest of it. But and I might do that on my own time or whatever. But we get the idea here. This was a very is a tough situation for the CEO. It really was just walking into the Shark Tank, honestly. And I think more importantly, this shows how united our Congress is when it comes to TikTok and the security aspect of it. It threatens our national security. It threatens our society for the reasons that I shared with you earlier. And that it's just rare to see both sides unified. It really is. I can't even remember in my lifetime the last time we've seen such just flat out bipartisanship on any political topic or thing with our politicians. So it's quite incredible that out of all the things, TikTok is the unifying factor here. And after this entire hearing, I think this was just a setup for the next step, which they roll out the nationwide ban. Now, do I know for sure? No. I don't think anybody really knows. Maybe we'll start to see some news stories break based off of inside information and leaked information that the Congress is about to, roll this out or roll that out. I know they have proposals that are going to address this stuff. So, we do know that President Biden is on board to back whatever the Congress comes up with. So it's just a matter of time, whether it's going to be new legislation or some other kind of means that they're going to address TikTok and either give them an option of either you divest from ByteDance and you sell the company. But then, as many of these Congress people have pointed out, the Chinese law, state that the technology belongs to the communist, belongs to China and the Communist Party. And so ByteDance may not have the authority per Chinese law to divest TikTok. So then TikTok's stuck in this weird situation where, well, if you can't be sold off to another company or someone else buys it and takes ownership of it outright, then we're just going to ban your app in the US. So a lot to see what happens here, man. It's very interesting. Hopefully, I mean, the fact that some of you guys stood around to hear this lets me know that you guys are actually interested in this and the implications for this. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see. We've never seen anything quite like this. Overall, I hope to see that all these social platforms are regulated because they've had too much free reign all these years. You know, it's taken so long for regulation, and I'm not even a person that's super about having regulations, but I think in social media, man, the way they use our data is crazy. Even in the EU, they have better protections for privacy and data collection and all this stuff. How are we so behind on this? It blows my mind. Well, not really. A lot of it had to do with these companies lobbying the same politicians that are right here. So, you know, they kind of turn a blind eye or they don't really make a move on anything. But I think now it's gotten to the point where if the U.S. is going to have to take action against TikTok, they're going to have to now take it against everybody because now you can't really hide it anymore, right? People are going to point out, well, why'd y'all do it at TikTok, but y'all still ain't run enforcement or legislation on these other companies to do stuff. So now they're going to have to blanket coat the shit. And I think that'll be a net positive at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the moment I learned that they don't allow the Chinese citizens the same version, listen, let me go back to this, right? So, TikTok, okay, here, let me go back to my amazing skills. So this is the Chinese party. Okay, let's do this. This is China. All right. So it's China. The CCP is the government, the Communist Party that runs China. Many wonderful Chinese people. It's unfortunate that the government itself is the problem. And so then now look at this, right? Now you have, I'm gonna spell it messed up, but it's like Duhan or Duhan. I don't know. It's probably not the proper spelling, but it sounds like Duhan. That's kind of what it sounds like when you say the word. So Duhan. Oh, let me do this. Let's do this instead. Make it easier. So here's Duhan, right? Duhan. I got to work on my paint skills. All right, so here's Duhan. Duhan is exactly the same thing as TikTok. Algorithm, kind of like the UI experience. However, let's do this. All right. USA. Cool. So now we've got TikTok in the US, and then you've got Duhan. Is in China. China doesn't allow TikTok for their people. They don't get TikTok. They don't get the algorithm the same way. None of it's banned. It's banned in China. That's why they have Duhan. The fundamental difference between the two apps is that the algorithm and the content on it, on Duhan, that is for the Chinese people, is fucking. Think about it. Think about it as if you were in a what's the word I'm looking for here? If you are in a fantasy world, right? Because it's all positive stuff, good quality information, a lot of learning for the children, STEM, all good things you would want to be exposed to. Positive, uplifting. You're not finding shootings and beatings and race baiting and all these other shit. TikTok has all of that, and that's what we consume, and the rest of the world does. Why wouldn't the Communist Party allow TikTok to be used in their country? This makes it a stronger argument, and it makes it so that it's not hard to believe that they do this because they know the implications of what the fucking TikTok app has because of the algorithm and what people feed into it, how they structure the algorithm so that, listen, if I put a post up and I say, hey, everybody, have a wonderful day today. Like I put that on my Instagram story or whatever. Hey guys, have a wonderful day today, right? Ain't nobody really fucking saying nothing back to me. I might get a couple of likes on it, but ain't nobody saying nothing. Now, if I come in there and I'm like, hey, yo, all y'all are following me, some bitches. Fuck you and your mama, ho. Everyone's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck, Moon? Are you good? They're gonna be in my shit. No, fuck you, bro. You ain't shit. I used to like your reels. Now you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like that's what's gonna happen. We respond to the drama and the negativity so much. China knows that. That's why they don't allow TikTok in their country. Instead, they got the good one. They got the good app, the positive one, the ones that kids are learning from, and it's all kosher and all of that. You know what I mean? TikTok is a fucking cesspool. You know what I mean? That's a problem, and that's what we consume. You know what I mean? Don't cancel me, dog.
No further.
So, that's where we're at with it, man. And I find it so interesting. And I do think, man, it's not popular to say, but I think this app should be fucking banned or sidelined or sell it off so there's no connection whatsoever. But you know, there's just it's problematic from a national security standpoint, and as well as its impact on our youth, you know, and how people thrive on that app. It's literally almost as bad as someone dealing with somebody with an addiction. You know, imagine trying to take it away from them. No, I need my TikTok. I can't survive it. Like, oh, what the fuck? Are you okay? So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it and we'll go from there. Listen, guys, later today, because it is technically Friday here in Chicago. Later today, we've got a horror game stream. If you've never been here for horror games, we got the new Resident Evil 4 dropped today, as a matter of fact. So we'll start diving into that. It's going to be crazy. You guys get to scare me on the live stream. Come over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/djmoondawglive. Give your boy a sub over there. Definitely recommend watching over there. It's a better viewing experience. And there's ways for you to support over there if you want to support your boy through memberships and super chats and all that stuff. Because on the IG streams, they don't have the badges up. I have to do it from my phone, which is stupid weird from Instagram. That being said, man, have a great Friday. Stay up. We'll be on live tomorrow, roughly around 6 p.m. ish. I'll post a story up with the exact details. Good to see a lot of y'all. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Hopefully you learned you a little something, and we'll talk later, man. Good night, y'all. Much love. Peace.